I don't know if the sound's going to come through on the video, but it's really kicking up a fuss out there today. It is windy and blowy and cold and it's rained, so since we can't actually cut any grass, I think it's worth taking the time right now, before we need to cut grass, to pull the snowblower off the Cub Cadet and put on the mower deck. So maybe I'll walk you through some of the steps to do that. This job goes a lot easier without air in the tires. So lately this little battery's been giving me a hard time starting. So we'll give it a quick load test here. It is only 350 cold cranking amps. I mean, it's a pretty small battery, but standing voltage is good. So we're going to be looking way down here at the bottom of the scale because it's so small. And we're just going to hold the load on here. Ugh, that's not good news. It's not even really coming back up. However, I purchased this MotoMaster Precision Series battery charger, and it alleges that it can save batteries with its maintenance mode. So I'm going to put it on charge and we'll see what happens overnight. Now that the tire chains are off, one of the next steps is to get rid of our snowblower drive belt. We just remove this. Just a little too low. This bolt comes out, this guard comes off. For whatever reason, the lawnmower uses a different guard from the snowblower. I'm not sure what that reason is. I'll just undo this little bolt here. This slides. Out like so. And the belt should just rotate off like so. Next, we're going to disconnect the lift pins. It has a little funny locking pin. A little hairpin like that. And do that on both sides. Actually, we'll take this arm right off of here as well. We repeat for this side. Pin out. Off it comes. We're going to be removing that large gold colored pin there. In order to get it off, place your mower deck control handle to the lowest position. And that just turns and pops out on both sides. Then we're going to remove the control cable. Now this next bit is my least favorite part of the whole ordeal. You're going to want to have a little 2x4 something underneath here to support it. There are two little hairpins, you can see it just up here at the very top. I don't know that they'd have to come out to get this out, but I think it'll make life a little bit easier. Although that one is super tight in there. There we go. And now basically this whole assembly is going to come forward and off of this hook up here and possibly crush my hand. Now the trouble is that this carriage is too tall to fit under the front axle. So the solution is a little bit barbaric.
So there you have it. Sure looks a lot smaller with the snowblower off. Obviously it's not ready for summer yet. We got to hang the deck on there, but it's almost supper time. I'm going to head in. Am I going to hang the deck on there tonight? I don't know. You'll have to join me when I do. As for the snowblower, you can see I mounted little wheels on it because it's not that handy where I store it in comparison to the shop. I was going to build a shed beside the shop. Currently there's kind of a rundown greenhouse that I'm using. It doesn't do much, it's an eyesore. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I bought the F100 instead, and that took up the budget for a shed. So that's going to have to wait until who knows when, maybe next year or the year after. And we're currently accepting applications for the position of wealthy benefactor. So, send us a resume, send us your qualifications.
So this ultimately is why we're here. You can see there, it's hard to tell. Maybe if I get, it's pretty wet. If you look at the rubber up inside here, it's all wet with oil. These struts are KYB quick struts. I was pretty excited to have them because KYB is a pretty well known and respected name. These fail to impress. They're less than a year and a half old, and they have been leaking for some time. I'll show you the other side here, because it's even worse. There is not going to be any oil left in that shock at all. There's not going to be any damping action. These are very disappointing. And because I can't get quick struts anymore for the rear of a four-wheel drive Patriot, I'm going to have to replace just the leaking strut portion with some Monroes that were on clearance from Rock Auto for $38 a piece, which is cheaper actually than returning these for warranty. And I'll have to obviously clean up the boots and everything because I don't get new ones with just a strut. So there's going to be a fair amount of work here. We'll have to swap the springs over, which anyone who's done that knows that that's a mechanic's probably scariest job. It's kind of like working around a bomb. All right, got the right hand strut out. It's quite the battle to get it out. It really doesn't have enough space, but anyway, it's out. It's really not that complicated. 2 nuts on top, bolt through the bottom. Not that much to it. This is our new Monroe strut. On clearance from Rock Auto, dirt cheap. That's it, that's all you get. So we have to make this look like this. And that is what gets kind of scary. What else did they give us? We also get a nut. Spring compressors. Don't make your own at home. Get a proper one. They actually aren't that expensive. This is just from Princess Auto, or Harbor Freight would have much the same, and you know, it's gonna save your life. If you have this spring under any kind of tension and whatever you fashion to compress it lets go, that's like a bomb going off and you're gonna be sorry. So I'm gonna hook up these compressors, use 2, 1 on either side, run them up. It's gonna compress the spring, and then I can undo this nut on the top, remove the works. You should be able to watch that in just a second. We're there. Okay, that can happen. This whole shaft is just spinning, probably because there's absolutely no pressure in this thing. So you can grab this little end with a wrench, and then another wrench to pull that off. So I'm gonna go grab that stuff. You don't need to watch that. All right, the one on the left, that's the right-hand strut. It is now put together. Just got the left-hand one out and got to swap everything over, but that's not happening till the morning. Good night.
Good morning. Welcome to day 2. Still to be done. Air filter needs to be changed. I need to put oil back in this engine and finish the strut swap. Late last night, got a message from my kids' school. They're closed for a couple of weeks, so the kids have gone to online school. So that's an interesting little change. So they'll be around here. I'm really not feeling very motivated to change that strut, largely because it's so greasy and I really don't have the means to wash it at the moment. So it's just kind of clean it up by hand with cleaners and rags, and that's not very fun. But it ain't gonna fix itself, so I guess I better get after it. Alright, so now that this is out, this is the left-hand rear strut. You can really see just how bad it is. Unfortunately, that rubber isolator down here is pretty much destroyed by all that oil, and I didn't know that, so I didn't order new ones. I'm gonna have to just clean those up and hope for the best. Pretty disappointed with KYB. They're gonna be getting an earful from me. Their customer support was nil, and obviously the quality on these is pretty poor. I mean, these are less than 2 years old. Probably, I don't know, under 45,000 kilometers, and they're toast. Brutal. All right, I thought it might be kind of interesting to do a side-by-side comparison of the old strut versus the new strut. These were literally so bad that going down the road, our range road's fairly rough. If I hit a bump, I could feel that wheel, that back wheel shaking for a few seconds, and it'd kind of be all over the road. So the first thing you'll notice between the new Monroe and the old KYB, this one's a little shorter. And the reason behind that is actually that I can extend this out and it will actually return down to a center position, which actually makes this a lot harder to assemble.
but just for comparison purposes, we push this down. It's got a lot of resistance, and it's going to spring back up all on its own. This one doesn't get firm until there, and even that, it's less force, and that's where it's going to stay. No rebound at all. Nothing.